Mae hi wedi bod yn fraint ac yn bleser I mi gael y cyfle I gydweithio hefo swyddogion Parc Cenedlaethol Eryri a nifer o bartneriaethau eraill yn ystod cynhyrchu ac ymgynghori I gynhyrchu cynllun Eryri. Dwi'n credu fod y cynllun terfynol yma sydd gennym ni rwan yn adlewyrchiad gwych o sut mae'r parc wedi gwrando ar y boblogaeth leol ac ar yr asiantaethau sy'n cydweithio hefo nhw I lunio rhywbeth sy'n mynd I fod yn hynod o ddefnyddiol am y blynyddoedd I ddod a sy'n mynd I siapio sut mae pobl yn byw ac yn gweithio ac yn chwarae o fewn ffiniau'r parc.
It's been really exciting to be part of the holistic partnership approach to the development of Cynllun Eryri. The challenges of managing such a place as Snowdonia are numerous and they're really, really complex. Snowdonia is an amazing place to visit, but it's not a theme park. It's a place where people live and work. It's got an amazing culture and history and a biodiverse and sensitive ecology. So the fact that Cynllun Eryri has the environment and the health and well-being of future generations at its core is so, so important. The comprehensive approach to the development of the plan and the fact that the people of Snowdonia have been able to have their say throughout the process is vital to its future success. We are proud to be partners in Cynllun Eryri.
When I look back, I am really impressed with the work that's gone into getting this far. Cynllun Eryri is the result of a lot of effort, time, and really sort of deep commitment to bringing stakeholders' views and needs and hopes for Snowdonia together into one living document.
Mae Undeb Ymwneithwyr Cymru wedi bod yn falch iawn o'r cyfle I fod yn rhan o baratoi Cynllun Eryri. Mae'n gynllun sydd yn gosod y ffordd ymlaen yr ardal arbennig yma, gan gymryd ystyriaeth nifer o ffactorau, megis yr ymgylchedd, newid yn yr hinsawdd, ac wrth gwrs yn bwysicach a dim I ni fel undeb, economi'r ardal a ffyniant busnesau amaethyddol, sydd mor bwysig I gynnal cymunedau diwylliant, yr iaith a'r economi wledig o fewn Eryri. Rydym wedi cael nifer o gyfarfodydd bywiog gyda sawl barn gwahanol yn cael ei fynegu. Ond rydym yn gobeithio'n fawr bod y cynllun terfynol yn mynd I fod o fydd I bawb, bod I bobl sydd yn cynnal eu busnesau yn yr ardal neu yn ymwelwyr yma. Yr un neges bwysig roedd pawb ymysg gyfleu oedd bod angen parchu'r ardal a'i phryswrwyr.
Mae Coed Cadw yn edrych ymlaen yn fawr at chwarae rhan yng Cynllun Eryri. Mae'r byd natur yn wynebu argyfwng a dim ond gan weithio gyda'n gilydd gallwn sicrhau bod coedwigoedd a choed y Parc Cenedlaethol yn cael ei gwarchod, ei gwerthfawrogi ymhelli'r dyfodol. Rydym eisoes yn gweithio mewn partneriaeth ag eraill I amddiffyn ac arfer coedwigoedd a choed Eryri. Ond fel rhan o Cynllun Eryri, rydym yn edrych ymlaen at gyflawni llawer mwy.
I've been involved in the development of the Eryri plan from the beginning alongside many stakeholders, and we've worked collaboratively to produce the plan itself. It's a very ambitious plan and I think it's been produced really well. As stakeholders, I think we've got to know each other, and as a result of that, I think working together going forward to help deliver the actions that come out of that plan will add value to each other's projects. We'll have a better understanding of what some of those challenges are within Snowdonia, and hopefully we'll be able to pool our resources from an expertise point of view, resources, but also the general knowledge that each of those stakeholders brings to the table. It's quite an exciting time and I'm looking forward to working with everybody in the future.
I have the unique position in so far as I cover the whole of Wales for the organisation, and I find it extremely useful to be able to use my knowledge of the whole of Wales and how it operates in what I can bring to the table within Snowdonia. It's also useful to think that in many respects the work that the Snowdonia National Park are actually carrying out is innovative, and I wish them very much every success in their future way of working and with this new partnership plan that they've put together.
Mae Un Llais Cymru'n rhannu'r amcanion ar dyheadau sy'n llunio Cynllun Eryri. Da ni'n gwerthfawrogi'r cyfle I gydweithio ag awdurdod y parc a'r holl asiantaethau eraill a gyfrannodd at fireinio'r cynllun. Da ni fel corff yn cynrychioli mwyafrif llethol poblogaeth y parc, a mi fydd amcanion y cynllun o bydd i'r trigolion ac i'r holl ymwelwyr a ddaw o bell ag agos, a gobeithio'n y bydd yn cyfrannu'n sylweddol lles cenedlaethau'r dyfodol.
Bore da a chroeso cynnes.
Good morning and a very warm welcome.
Our new National Park Partnership Management Plan and the launch of a new Snowdonia National Park Business Ambassador Scheme called Llysgennad Eryri. Thank you to some of the partners there for taking the time and sharing their thoughts on the process of co-creating Cynllun Eryri. As you noticed in the film, we do work truly bilingually, and in a moment I will switch to Welsh. Therefore, if you will require an English translation for this event, please go to the bottom of your screen now, where you will see a globe icon and an interpretation option, and please choose English now. Thank you very much. Diolch yn fawr iawn. Mae'r digwyddiad heddiw yn dau rhan. Yn gyntaf, rydym yn lansio yn swyddogol Cynllun Eryri, sef Cynllun Rheolaeth Statudol Newydd, ac am y tro cyntaf Cynllun Partneriaeth y Parc Genedlaethol. Nes ymlaen byddwn ni hefyd yn lansio rhaglen newydd Llysgennad Eryri. Ond am nawr ar y sgrin dwi'n falch o gyflwyno fy hun Angela Jones, rheolwr partneriaethau y Parc Genedlaethol, sydd wedi cydlynu'r proses o dod â'r fersiwn terfynol o Cynllun Eryri at ei gilydd. A dwi'n hynod o falch hefyd i gyflwyno fy ngwestai arbennig, i cychwyn Wyn Ellis Jones, cadeirydd yr awdurdod y Parc
Which is chair of the National Park, and Tracy Evans is also here. Tracy, if you will be giving us a word of thanks. She is the Chief Executive of the Outdoor Partnership, and she chairs Forum Eryri, which is the partnership which produced this plan jointly. We're also hoping to welcome Lesley Griffiths, the Minister for Environment, Energy and Rural Affairs. Hopefully she will be able to join us. Could you turn your camera on, if you could, please, Lesley? She may be joining us in a bit. So a very warm welcome to all of you. Thanks very much for attending this morning in order to celebrate the launch of this very special plan. And from me, I'll transfer to the chair of the authority. Thanks, Wyn. Thanks, Angela. Good morning to all of you, and thank you all for joining us today. It feels a bit awkward that we're meeting like this. It's such a beautiful day in this part of Eryri. The sun has just gone up and it's a beautiful morning. It just feels a bit awkward that we can't invite you here in the flesh, so to speak, to the area that we are all so proud of, especially everybody who's contributed to this document. And thanks to Angela, she is the partnership manager, and it's been written as a partner. It's not our plan as a park. It's been written jointly with input from all sectors. I'm sure we'll have seen a lot of them in the presentations earlier on, representing the outdoors, conservation and the communities that are so important to us. It's been a very exciting experience for us to be able to work with everybody who's involved with conserving the park in creating the plan that and what we'll achieve in the next 5 years. But it's been a very difficult time, although most of the document has been written before March. And the document was finished during the COVID crisis, and it's been very challenging for everybody who's been a part of it. I think it's also much praise for the document that it allows us to be operational during a crisis like this, and whatever will face us during the next few months and the next few years. This document will help us to achieve the national park purposes and the aims and priorities of Welsh Government, The most obvious ones are the well-being of future generations. With those few words, can I thank everybody who's been taking part in the plan. And we really appreciate all of the time that you've put into it. And there are several of you who have put in hours and days to contribute towards this plan. So thank you very much. So now can I transfer to Lesley Griffiths, who is the Minister for Environment, Energy and Rural Affairs. Lesley has just sent a message to say that she sees at 20 past. So if you can go to Tracy first, that would be great. Thanks, Tracy. Thank you very much for the presentation, Wyn. It's an honour to be here today. I've been a part of Forum Eryri for several years, representing a local charity called the Outdoor Partnership. As part of a relatively small charity, it's really important for us to be involved in this approach to partnership working. It is a true cross-section of organisations who care for the future of this area and the people and habitats who actually call it home. It represents what businesses, communities and organisations feel is important. One of our priorities has been to make sure that the balance between the benefits for people who live and work here and people who visit are achieved. Forum Eryri have come together in different ways, including workshops, discussions, consultation events, emails and meetings as well, in order to agree on a detailed and sustainable action plan. I think the most important word there really is sustainable. Our in-depth discussions have produced a series of outcomes which set out how we'd like things to be now and in the future. We have identified what is and what isn't working at the moment and how things could change. This has helped us to understand what success looks like with a set of objectives that are aspirational, but we believe that they are achievable. We are all aiming for the long-term vision, which is a culturally rich national park with a thriving green economy, a world-class visitor experience, and a major contributor to the well-being of our nation. We are aiming for a diverse economy adapted to the major challenges of climate change, Brexit and COVID, and founded on natural resources. With thriving, bilingual and inclusive communities, working in partnership will have demonstrated that we can achieve more through working together. Our communities are adopting innovative solutions in a changing world. A low carbon economy will have strengthened residents' links with the environment, providing a better standard of living. We've made sure that this plan looks and feels like a living document, that people will want to read and use it rather than something that will just sit on the shelf. It is important for people who live here and outside the national park, and it states clearly what we're going to be doing over the next 5 years to work towards that vision. We're looking forward to take steps to get to grips with this, and we have already started to get to work. In the next session, you will hear about the Ambassador Scheme for local businesses, aiming to spread greater understanding of all of the special qualities of the area. The plan also shows how we will embark on an innovative system for parking and transport in the core area, how we will reconnect our Celtic rainforests, how we will celebrate local names and the language and protect the cultural heritage of the Carnedda, how we will consider plastic-free zones and many other exciting things. We haven't shied away from the challenges. We know that there are tough times ahead. Working together, we can make sure our natural and historic assets and our stunning surroundings are cared for and enhanced. We can make sure that Eryri provides a wealth of opportunities to learn and discover, whilst improving well-being, and we can strive to ensure that Eryri is an exceptional place to live, develop and work. As chair of Forum Eryri, we have discussed and agreed the next steps in the plan and also who will lead in them. This sustainable way of working has meant high ambition, but we believe that this is achievable and within reach. By keeping the special qualities of the area at the heart of everything we do, we are all looking forward to working on this together. Now is when the hard work will start. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Tracy. Welcome, Lesley. Hopefully you can hear us and you can see us as well.
You want me to speak now? Yeah.
Oh, I was just going to introduce you, but
okay. No, after you.
Lesley Griffiths.
Can I just welcome Lesley Griffiths? We're very grateful for giving your time this morning. We know how busy you are. So can I just welcome Lesley Griffiths, who is Minister for Environment, Energy and Rural Affairs. Over to you, Lesley.
It's a real pleasure to join you today, and many thanks for the invitation to speak to you. I'm very pleased to launch this impressive plan and say a few words about how important the designated landscapes are for Wales and the communities living in them. Following such a challenging year for our national parks, this is true now more than ever. It is important to recognise how this partnership plan underpins the work within Snowdonia National Park. It's a plan which sets out in detail how the National Park Authority and its partners across the area intend to look after this precious but vulnerable landscape for future generations. Working with the Partnership Forum Eryri, the plan is based on extensive consultation work with those who live, work and visit here. It is clear the authority has a strong ethos of collaboration and meaningful community consultation. I'm also pleased to see the park is engaged with consultees through film and social media in developing the plan. Credit should also be given to the National Park Authority for these truly inclusive and novel ways of producing what could have been a very dry document. All of the partners now have an integral part to play in looking after Snowdonia National Park for our future generations. The implementation of Cynllun Eryri will help achieve not only the core purposes of all national parks, conservation and enjoyment, but it also delivers on a number of our Welsh Government policy objective goals and priorities. This includes our groundbreaking legislation, such as the Wellbeing of Future Generations Act, and it also includes our priority statements for designated landscapes, valued and resilient, and the new tourism strategy for Wales. We are committed to halting and reversing biodiversity loss. Key to this is taking action to create resilient ecological networks across Wales. This includes restoring protected sites and peatlands and creating a national forest across Wales. Nature-based solutions are also helping us prepare for the impacts of climate change. Our NRO and Local Places for Nature programmes are two examples of how our focus is aimed at both making a difference and as well as smaller scale interventions involving local people on their doorsteps. At the same time, we must enable visitors to have world-class experiences whilst ensuring the special qualities we seek to protect are not damaged. Achieving sustainable options for parking and transport must be part of the ongoing work of the national park authorities. It would be impossible to address you today without mentioning the COVID-19 pandemic. There have been periods this year when national parks have been very high in the public and political consciousness. Green and wild spaces have given people respite and opportunities to breathe freely. However, they've also placed under great pressure and sadly abused by some. 2020 saw a surge in visitors at certain points, and that popularity brought both benefits and challenges as the pandemic restrictions continued. Snowdonia National Park Authority took decisive action and maintained an ongoing dialogue with local communities, many of whom had real concerns. I and my Cabinet colleagues certainly appreciate the dedication of park staff and partners in responding to the challenges thrown at us. I look forward to working with the national parks as we move towards a green recovery from the pandemic. Across society and government, there is a great deal of thought going on as to how we can build back better and greener. And organisations will need to remain flexible and agile to the challenges and, of course, the opportunities before us. I'm extremely pleased to be able to provide a package of additional funding to Snowdonia National Park Authority alongside our other designated landscapes. This recognises the pressures faced and the opportunities you can provide to improve biodiversity and make tourism more sustainable and resilient. This funding will enable more staffing resource to be delivered, strengthening the ability of the authority to come through the year of 2020 and beyond. Tourism is changing in the world, and the approach Eryri is taking reflects the need for the sector, both industry and visitor, to operate in more sustainable ways. We need to reinforce that all recreation must be truly responsible and to remind visitors of the delicate nature of the landscape. Snowdonia hasn't shied away from the challenges and the potentially tough times ahead. The recent transport study shows the authority acting special qualities that attract people are not threatened. In working together with partners, you can ensure the natural and cultural assets we all value so much are cared for and enhanced. And you can ensure Snowdonia provides a wealth of opportunities to discover and increase well-being, as well as continues to be a place to live and work in harmony with the natural environment. Diolch yn fawr iawn.
Diolch yn fawr, Lesley. A gai ar ran yr awdurdod, diolch yn fawr iawn I chi.
Thank you very much, Lesley, and can I thank you and the Welsh Government for your support. We really do appreciate it. Can I pass it back to you now, Angela?
If you'd like to have an English translation, there's one available just at the bottom of the screen to click on interpretation and English. So, felly na diolch I chi, Lesley.
So can I just thank you, Lesley, for your time today, and to Wyn and Tracy as well, to all of you for your lovely words, for all of the work that's gone into creating Cynllun Eryri and all of the exciting work that's going to start, like Tracy said, to make sure that this plan is very successful. In a second, we'll all be disappearing from your screens, and we'll be looking at how you can become a Llysgennad or an ambassador for Eryri, and how you can actually help us to convey messages regarding conserving and looking after Eryri. What does make this area a designated area? We'll be looking at special qualities. There are 9 qualities in Eryri, and the video will explain a bit more about this. Hopefully you'll have a cup of tea. Please sit back and enjoy the film that will follow. And so I'll ask all of my guests to turn their cameras off. And thank you very much for listening to this part of the event. Please enjoy. Thank you.
Mae gan bob parc cenedlaethol restr sy'n diffinio'n glir i'r rhinweddau arbennig. Maen nhw'n nodi beth sy'n gwneud yr ardal yn arbennig ac yn unigryw. Y cyfuniad yma o rhinweddau arbennig sydd wrth wraidd ei dynodi'n barc cenedlaethol. Mae gan Eryri 9 rhinwedd arbennig. Tirwedd ac ardaloedd arfordirol amrywiol o'r môr i'r mynydd, dyffrynoedd ac ardaloedd glan y môr hardd sydd heb ei difetha. Ychydig iawn o lefydd sy'n yn y byd lle mae'n bosib profi pob un o'r amgylcheddau hyn mor agos i'w gilydd. A robust sense of community identity and vitality combine to give a strong sense of place and belonging in our 24 small villages and 5 towns. Our communities have been moulded and shaped by their tough and beautiful environment. Mae bywogrwydd y Gymraeg fwyaf amlwg yn Eryri gymaint dyma'r iaith o ddewis mewn nifer o amgylchiadau cymdeithasol a phroffesiynol. Mae'n amlwg mewn enwau llefydd, bywyd gwyllt a hanes yr ardal. Snowdonia has inspired some of the nation's most notable culture, folklore, art, literature and music. A strong, thriving influence which continues across all creative pursuits to the present day. Mae Llynyddoch yn dal I fodoli mewn sawl rhan o Eryri, yn ystod y dydd yn ein mynyddoedd mawr anghysbell a garw, ac yn ystod y nos o dan yr awyr dywyll enfawr ysbrydoledig. Mae Eryri yn cynnig y ddihangfa berffaith, lleu anadlu ac adfer. Here there are extensive opportunities for recreation, leisure and learning for people of all ages and abilities. The breadth of potential opportunities to get outside and active in Snowdonia is endless. Mae gweithgarwch pobl dros y canrifoedd wedi sernio tirlun gwledig a threfol Eryri. Mae ein pensaerniaeth gynhenid yn ein hamlygu ni. Mae digwyddiadau hanesyddol, ffyrdd o fyw, traddodiadau a chredoa yn cael eu hymgorffori yn ein henebion, safleoedd ac adeiladau, ym mhatryma aneddiadau a cheia ac mewn enwau llefydd. Snowdonia is a complex story of colliding continents, volcanoes, mountain building, changing sea levels and glaciations that were involved in creating the area. A varied landscape composed of mountain peaks and ridges, deep valleys and moorland plateau, which has influenced the disciplines of geology and geography internationally. Mae 17 gwarchodfa natur genedlaethol yn Eryri a 56 safle o ddiddordeb gwyddonol arbennig. Prawf o faia amrywiaeth aruthrol sy'n cael ei adlewyrchu yn y tirwedd amrywiol. Mae cyfoeth y planhigion ac anifeiliaid yn greiddiol I hanes, diwylliant, iaith, economi a lles parhaus pawb. These 9 special qualities help us understand what needs to be protected and enhanced here. They define what gives this area its unique sense of place. We are all working together to look after and improve these precious things that keep Eryri exceptional.
Helo a croeso I chi gyd I ail.
Hello, and can I welcome you to the second part of this launch? I'm Cynllun, and I am the Snowdonia Partnership Officer for Snowdonia National Park Authority. I hope you enjoyed that wonderful video that leads us very neatly to this section of the launch. The intention of this session is to launch another scheme, a brand new scheme actually, which celebrates all the special qualities of Snowdonia, which is the Snowdonia Ambassador Scheme. Developing such a scheme is one of the action points of Cynllun Eryri and Cynllun Eryri, which we've just launched. And we had a workshop to discuss this scheme in Llandudno over a year ago by now. We've made great strides since then. And to tell you a bit more about this, we have the chair of the Snowdonia Partnership and the chair of Snowdonia Society, John Harold. Welcome, John. Thank you, Catherine. As the director of the Snowdonia Society, which is a conservation charity working throughout Snowdonia since 1967, we have some staff And we have volunteers, and we are very pleased to stand shoulder to shoulder with the partnership during the challenging summer that we've just had. I'm also the chair of the Snowdonia Partnership, Partneriaeth yr Wyddfa. This is a lively partnership with a focus on solving the problems and developing aspects in Snowdonia. This is an area that flourishes because of the time, investment and patience put in by the entire partnership. So I'm pleased of the opportunity to present the Ambassador Scheme, a new item in the toolkit, an important aspect of the toolkit to safeguard and to enjoy Snowdonia. So what does the Ambassador Scheme mean? Usually, it's
yn y sector twristiaeth mwyn arfogi perchnogion a staff gyda'r gallu i addysgu ymwelwyr am nodweddion unigryw ac arbennig yr ardal dan sylw. Hynny yn ei dro yn enyn parch i'r ardal ac yn rhoi profiad cyflawn i'r ymwelydd. Ond, da ni isio mynd gam pellach yn Eryri a chynnig yr hyfforddiant i unrhyw un sy'n dymuno bod yn llysgennad dros yr ardal. A dyna pam da ni wedi datblygu rhaglen cynhwysfawr fydd i bawb sy'n byw a gweithio yn Eryri a'r ardal ehangach. A mae hyn yn bwysig. Mae'n adlewyrchu cyfrifoldebau da ni gyd yn rhannu. Mae hefyd yn adlewyrchu bod pawb yn elwa o Eryri lan, pawb yn gallu mwynhau Eryri hardd a phawb angen Eryri cynaliadwy. Rhain yn bwysig i ni gyd, nid ar gyfer ymwelwyr yn unig mae rhain. Mae datblygu cynllun o'r fath wedi nodi'n gyntaf yn cynllun yr Wyddfa, sef cynllun rheolaeth partneriaeth ar gyfer y mynydd a lanswyd yn 2019. A mae cynllun llysgennad hefyd wrth gwrs yn elfen o gynllun Eryri. Fues i yn y gweithdy yn Llandudno llynedd i trafod cynllun o'r fath i ardal yr Wyddfa, a roedd y gweithdy yn cadarnhaol iawn, wedi fynychu gan llysgenhadon yn cynrychioli cynlluniau ledled Cymru, busnesau a partneriaid. Oedd yna consensws glir i ddatblygu cynllun fyddai'n ymestyn tu hwnt i'r ardal yr Wyddfa ac yn adlewyrchu'r holl rinweddfa arbennig parc cenedlaethol. Yn fwy na hynny, penderfynwyd cydweithio gydag awdurdodau lleol eraill ar gynllun rhanbarthol byddai'n cynnwys ardal eang o Ogledd Cymru, sef y cynllun llysgennad Gogledd Cymru gyda ni rwan. Mae'r awdurdodau sydd wedi bod yn rhan o'r trafodaethau yn cynnwys awdurdod Parc Cenedlaethol Eryri, Cyngor Sir Dinbych, Cyngor Bwrdeistrefol Conwy, Cyngor Sir y Fflint a Chyngor Gwynedd.
I'm afraid the translation stopped.
OK. Oes na problem efo cyfieithu?
Sorry John, mae Catrin jyst yn dod nôl i gyfieithu, mae Glyn, ni wedi colli Glyn yn anffodus. So mae Catrin ar y ffordd nôl.
Dwi yma rwan.
OK.
Ond fe rhaid i gael fy mhenodi'n gyfieithydd eto.
OK, diolch, bydd Rob yn neud rwan.
Iawn.
Sorry. Forgive me. Ydach. Sorry, I must have lost connection. Please forgive me.
Every authority will have an individual specific plan with all the plans being promoted jointly in order to reach a wider audience as possible. Today, under the banner of the North Wales Ambassador Scheme, we are extremely glad to be able to launch our very unique
scheme to the
for the
National
park, which is the
which is the
Llysgennad
Snowdonia
Eryri.
National Park Ambassador Scheme.
The provision of
The
Llysgennad Eryri
provision
includes 12
provides 12
training
online
modules online, which
modules which offers
reflects
training
the
regarding the
special qualities of the
specific
park.
qualities of the national park.
And so
there will be
individual
a specific
modules
module
for every
single special
individual
quality,
as well
and there
as
will be
specific modules,
modules
including
including
sustainable
Snowdon,
tourism,
sustainable
and
tourism,
welcome
and
to
welcome to the
Snowdonia
Snowdonia
National Park
National Park Authority.
We're launching with 8
We have
modules,
8 modules,
and we will be releasing one
we will be
module
releasing
per month
one module
after
per
that,
month
until the 12
we
modules will
have
all be available.
12 modules available. The content of the modules is a variety of original work, photographs, and the quality and the caliber of the participants is of the highest possible standard. We are open to hear ideas from our ambassadors regarding new contents or new modules as the scheme expands, and we are very eager to provide workshops and exciting events as time permits. We will have a taster of one of the modules later on. The scheme will also have a bronze, silver and gold accredited scheme dependent on how many modules are completed. How to register? Well, if you go to the Eryri Ambassador.Wales website, or for more information, if you email eryriambassador@eryri.llo.cymru. Sorry, John. Some have already started on the journey with us after achieving a specific training day when they visited Snowdon earlier on this year. And I remember that day very well. Before COVID, in the film, we can see what they had to say about the scheme. A taster of enthusiasm. I would like to thank Catherine, all the team of the National Park and all the partners for the hard work that has got us to this important point. The toolkit is now full, and here we are ready to use it to safeguard and to enhance Eryri. And as someone who enjoys myself going outdoors, I would like to share the wonders of nature and the freedom of Snowdonia, and I would like everybody to be an ambassador for Snowdonia. Back over to Catherine. Thank you, John, and we can play the video now, which includes 2 ambassadors, and we can see what they say about the project.
Enw fi di Stephen Jones a dwi'n perchenog ar cwmni o'r enw Anelu. Cwmni sy'n darparu cyrsiau awyr agorad i plant, teuluoedd ac unigolion trwy Gogledd Cymru, sy'n cynnwys ardal y Parc Cenedlaethol Eryri.
Hi there, my name's Jim from Adventure Shoe, and we're based in Conway. We do cycling and trekking trips within Snowdonia and worldwide, with our passion and the majority of our work being based here in Snowdonia.
A da ni'n falch iawn I fod yn un o'r llysgenhadon cyntaf y prosiect yma. Elfen mawr o busnes ni ydy addysgu pobl amdan y mynyddoedd, yr ardaloedd, y cymunedau o fewn Gogledd Cymru a helpu nhw I fwynhau, I barchu a chyfrannu tuag at y llefydd maen nhw'n ymweld.
It's really fantastic to be part of the Ambassador Scheme, and when we heard about it, we're just really keen to be involved. I think it'll be a great source of information, being able to learn more about local history, environmental, community projects, which we can learn about and obviously share with our visitors will be fantastic. It'll help us engage more with our clients and give them a more meaningful experience during their stay in Snowdonia National Park. and also collaborate with other outdoor providers, other people within the national park, and keep a good form way of keeping up-to-date information as well.
Trwy gweminarau'r parc, rydym yn cael cyfle i fod o ran o cynlluniau'r parc i cael yn diweddaru amdano cynllun Llysgennad ac i cyfrannu tuag at y proses.
What do I hope to get out of the scheme? Just learn more and more about the park and different areas of the park. And also to learn about new areas and less visitors areas. That would be fantastic. We're hoping to work on some new areas where we're trying to attract visitors to other areas of the quieter areas of the park and extend the stays from 1 to 2 days to 3 to 4. As an outdoor provider as well, it's great to feel, part of a bigger picture and being able to, again, work together with the National Park and everybody. I think with us all working together as well, it'll, bring a stronger, brighter future for tourism within the National Park. I think it'll be fantastic to have the online module that will enable us to sort of work in our own time and do things at our own pace.
Felly, da ni'n annog unrhyw un sydd o wir diddordeb i warchod ardal Eryri i ymuno a chyfrannu.
Wel, gwych iawn, a diolch I Jim ac I Steve.
Brilliant, and can I thank Jim and Stephen for contributing to that video. Can I also thank John for his wonderful presentation to that ambassador program that we have. We now have a very exciting item, and this is something that we as a National Park have been eagerly awaiting to share with you. As you know by now, according to that wonderful video we saw in the first half of the launch, one of the special qualities of Eryri, and therefore one of the special modules, is inspiring the arts. We wanted to share this special quality not only by including the traditional and the classics, things like poetry, proverbs, and the legends that tie us with our past, and of course which are a very prominent part of the scheme, but we truly want to show how Snowdonia inspires the arts today and how she contributes and continues to contribute towards our language, culture and arts. We are therefore very grateful and very proud to present two of the most prominent and current artists from Wales. Both of them are from the outskirts of Snowdonia, and they have both created a specific, unique art for this scheme. Cassie is a composer which is counted as one of the greatest voices in Wales. Her modern arrangements puts new light on our old traditions. Her work has been intertwined with a new electronic scheme which brings the old legends alive. She's performed in proms in the park with the BBC and also with the Welsh National Orchestra, to name just a few examples. Another artist is Cynllun, an animator from the Frinanlla. She's taught herself how to animate digitally using the traditional way of designing. This has inspired Lleuki to animate work, and this has led to a number of co-productions with other Welsh artists. For example, the phenomenal band Adwaith. This is not the first time that they have worked together, and this is obvious in the perfectness of what they've created for us. Both of them bridge the gap between the traditional and the contemporary, which is a reflection of Snowdonia as it is today, an area where there is a strong connection between the people and the language, the people and the land. This is an area where people live and work and where people look forward to the future. So Before we see this piece, we are very pleased to welcome Lleuki and Cassie here to have a brief chat with us to get under the skin of the work they've produced for us. So Cassie and Lleuki, you can put your cameras and your mics on. Hello, how are you both? Hello everyone. Wonderful, nice to have you with us. I'll start off with you, Cassie. As someone from Bethel originally, I believe, on the vicinities of the national park, how has Snowdonia impacted you and your work as an artist? It's had a huge impact on me, naturally, and on every aspect of my life. I went to Bangor and I could see Trefan and many of the mountains of Snowdonia from my classroom with the poems we were studying in school, going for a walk as a young girl. This area and the spirit and the excitement of the area has penetrated everything I do. What about you, Lleuki? Well, I've lived here throughout my life. I was brought up in Dyffryn Nanlla, and during my lessons, I'd look through the window and I'd see this amazing landscape. I've moved now to a city. I live in Edinburgh, and I still yearn for home. I can't avoid it, it's part of who I am. This is wonderful to hear this from both of you, and this comes through in the work that you've produced. Another thing that is very strong in Snowdonia is the connection and the relationship between people and the land. This is very difficult to explain in words, but could you, in artists, try to convey in words the relationship you have with Eryri? Lleuki? I have a direct relationship with Eryri, with Snowdonia. I come from a family of people who like to be outdoors. My great-grandparents lived on a farm here. My grandfather was like a gamekeeper. My father also worked outdoors. I feel the same as you, Lleuki. My family, I think you take this for granted if you get the privilege of growing up in a place like Eryri. I studied for my degree in London, and it was only then that I realised how important fresh air was. That you get this space, a better space around you, that you can stand on a mountain, you can sit next to a lake or a river, and there's almost no human touch on anything you see compared to a city. This is even more phenomenal when you return and you come back to your native land. Interesting. This is very interesting to hear you saying this before I actually show this piece of work to everyone. And talking about this piece of work that you've done, it's so unique. The music and the animation, I've never seen anything like this, apart from elements of what you've done before. But where did the inspiration come specifically for this piece of work that you've created for us? I felt, well, Lleuki and I have worked together many times, and we released our first video. I wrote a song called Aderyn, and Lleuki did a video. I sent Lleuki the words, and I gave Lleuki the freedom to respond as she felt best and as she interpreted that song. And it was quite a similar process, really, with this piece of work. I sent the initial draft of the words that I'd wrote, then we discussed some images that were personal for us, because obviously Snowdonia, Eryri, it's a place that unites us. There's a strong community here within the national park and within the area, but it's also something very personal. And I'm sure that every single one of us in this launch today will have our favourite spot, our favourite field, our favourite path, our favourite mountain. So when we discuss the influence of Snowdonia on artists and on people and on communities, I think this personal aspect is very exciting because it testifies to the variety of the area. And regarding the process, from my perspective, I sent some pieces over to Lleuki, and Lleuki responded in the way that she felt fit. So Lleuki, were you inspired from the song that Cassie had wrote? Where did the muse come from? Where did this inspiration come from? I definitely have received inspiration from the song. There's no question about that. The song is brilliant, but also I am inspired when I leave the house, when I go swimming, when I go for a walk. I make videos and so forth. So I didn't go out of my way when I was out and about. I film whenever I go out, so I take some inspiration from those videos and from the lyrics of the song. Brilliant. Well, we're very exciting to show this to everybody, and it feels natural. It feels that this has been an organic and natural process for both of you. So can I thank you wholeheartedly for this? This is something new for us as a national park, that we've worked with contemporary artists to create something like this. So our thanks to you is very great. Thank you for joining us today. I know you're both very busy, so we'll say farewell to both of you now. You can turn your cameras off. Can I thank you both? Thank you, Lleuki. And we can all sit back now and we can see this masterpiece that they've created. This is the premiere, the first time shown anywhere else in the world. Eryri by Cynllun Eryri and Lleuki Non.
Dros ei llwybrau a thaim o'i hyd. Tir oedd ein dewinoedd ar gan yn un ar gwynt yr glesni yn agored, a'i dyma awr, ein deffroad a ddaw dymuniad, y dewin eto'n fyw, o grochan ein gorffennol llawn o straeon dynol rhyw.
Wel, gobeithio bod chi wedi mwynhau hwnna.
I hope you enjoyed that as much as we enjoyed it when we saw it for the first time. We are looking forward now to share this, to promote our special qualities and to promote this scheme on our social media channels. And as we come to the end of the launch, I would like to thank John, Jim, Stephen, Cassie and Lleucu, but there are many more other people I'd like to thank. We all as a team would like to thank everybody who's contributed content towards these specific modules. They are truly of the best possible standard, and it's a great privilege that so many poets and writers and artists from Eryri have been so eager to work with us and to be part of this scheme. People like our archdruid, Myrddin ap Dafydd, Dr Angharad Price, Lisa A. Gainterim, and the chief poet Ifor ap Glyn, to name but a few. So our appreciation is greatly appreciated. Without you, we would not have a scheme. So can I thank you very much? Lastly, by me, if you are a business owner or if you'd like to know more about Snowdonia, if you'd like to get under the skin of the area, or if you are interested after today, hopefully we've convinced you that this scheme is truly of a very high standard and is invaluable for anybody who wants to take part. Please register today to take part. Go to the website www.llysgennaderyri.cymru, or if you can email eryriambassador@eryri.llo.cymru, you will not be disappointed. And of course, if you want to know more about our exciting schemes over the next 5 years, you can visit Cynllun Eryri on the website address that's up on the screen at the moment. So from me, can I say thank you for everybody for attending today and for contributing. Thank you.